Hi everyone, welcome to Grow Roots. This is Shannon, and welcome to my first winter sowing great reveal. These are the jugs that I first winter sowed. Some of these were sown on January 15th. Others were sown on January 18th, and I think, let's see, I've got some from January 22nd, January 30th, and one even from February 7th. So these are the ones that are ready to go. I have already untaped all of these, and I've taken a little tiny peek, but really this is going to be the first time that I take the lids off. I'm gonna clip the lids off of them and have them in the open air from now on because they are now big enough. And so I wanted to show you as I did this so that you could see how amazing winter sowing really does work. And not only does it work, but it creates really strong seedlings as well. So come along. So a question that a lot of you might have when it's your first time winter sowing, or even just for subsequent years as well, is how do you really know when you're ready to take the lids off of these? And I know it's a really fun moment, like you're anxious to take the lids off and see what it looks like in there, even though you can kind of peek. It's better to have a better look if you can take the lid off. Well, the true winter sowing method says that the seedlings need to be one of two things before you take the lids off and before you transplant them. Number one, they need to be 2 inches long, or they need to have 2 sets of true leaves. And if they have both of those requirements, even better. And it also says, honestly, that once you hit 2 inches or 2 sets of true leaves, it's better to transplant them when they're tiny like that than to wait until they're like crazy bursting at the seams. However, I have known some of you YouTube creators that have waited until the plants were like coming out the top, and they wait until after your last frost date for your area. So mine is actually, I think it's March 16th if I'm not mistaken. Today is, goodness, what is today? It's like, I think it's March 12th. No, today is March 11th. I do know the date. But so we're really, really, really close. But honestly, with our 14-day forecast, there is just no possibility of having a last frost in the next 2 weeks. And who knows, something may come in April, and it's not completely unheard of. But I think for my area, the very last frost date, like the history maker, the one that was on record, was like, I don't know, the first week of April or something like that. So we're probably good to go. I think it's safe to bet that we have had our last frost, and that is safe. But truly, like if you're planting cold hardy annuals or perennials, then the winter sowing method says no matter if you've reached your last frost date or not, if your seedlings are 2 inches long or they have 2 sets of true leaves, then they're ready to go out into the landscape. However, there's a couple of steps that you should take before you transplant them. I'm not going to take these plants that have been covered up completely all like winter and early spring long, and then just put them straight in sun and in a new growing space in the landscape. I'm not going to do that to them, okay? So I want to take the lids off, which I'm going to do right now for you, and then I'm going to probably have them in part shade today. Especially since today's high is supposed to be 82 degrees. The next 4 days in my area, the highs are in the 80s. And so I honestly need to get these lids off because I don't want to fry my seedlings. And then I'm going to have them in a little bit of part shade for right now to get used to, being out in the heat and the open air and the wind and all of that kind of stuff. And then I will place the jug in one of the spots that I think they're gonna go in for maybe a day, and then I will transplant it. So it's gonna be a little bit of a process. It's not nearly as much work as hardening off seedlings that have been kept indoors. It's just I don't want to put these guys through too much, although they are supposed to be very, very strong seedlings. So with that said, let's take a look at how they look. Okay, so let's start with the ones that I did first. And I think I did that on January 15th. I actually didn't write the date down on these jugs. But the first one I'm going to show you is the hollyhock. And honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to keep these jugs, but I need to just cut this lid off. It's too like bulky. I don't want it in the way. I know I'm not putting this lid back on because my nights are not going to get below 50. So I cut the lid off. I'm going to keep this though. I'm kind of thinking that if I need to cover these when they're in the landscape, I could use all of these lids to do that. So I'm going to save these. Okay, so this is Hollyhock Country Romance Mix, and they look amazing. These were one of the first to sprout. And look at these beauties. All right, so take a look at those. They look so good. Let's see. I did at least 9, and I think I honestly put 2 seeds in each hole, so I probably sowed 18. So it's not the best germination rate. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 are ready to go out into the landscape because they have 2 sets of true leaves and they're 2 inches tall. There are some, if you can see, that have sprouted fairly recently and are still growing. So I'm not going to be able to like get this whole thing in the landscape, but I have 5 that are ready, and I'll probably just leave these guys in there, or I may just pot them up and leave them outside for a little bit and see how they do. We'll see, but that's Hollyhock Country Romance. So those have been winter sown for almost 2 months, to be honest. And here is Larkspur. This is Larkspur Kaleidoscope Mix. So again, I'm going to save that, but Larkspur Kaleidoscope Mix. And again, not the most amazing germination rate, but the seedlings that I do have look so, so good. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And honestly, that's enough for me. But they are so cute. Now, I will say this, if you can see, I did not add enough drainage holes this year. I added, I don't know if you can see that, but 3, 6, 9, 12 drainage holes on the bottom, and then 2 drainage holes on every side, so 8. If I do this next year, I'm going to add a whole bunch of more drainage holes because I did have a little bit of problem with some mold, mildew, mold, the green stuff that you see on the surface there. It's not ideal for seedlings, but I don't think it hurt them too bad either. So there you go. That's Larkspur Kaleidoscope. Really excited about those. I saw Larkspur on the Denton County Master Gardeners Tour, and you can check out that video. I'll pop the link in the right hand corner for you. But I saw Larkspur in a lot of those gardens. When was that garden tour? In May. So, and those gardens looked so amazing with just little bits of Larkspur coming up all around the other perennials that were in the area. It was so beautiful. That's why I'm growing it this year. Okay, so next up is Alyssum Gold Dust. Okay. Okay. This is, again, Alyssum Gold Dust. Look at those. Those look beautiful. Wow. They're so, so pretty. They almost have a blue-green color to the leaves, to be honest. I didn't expect that, but those are totally ready, and I think I had close to 100% germination there. I didn't do like tons of seeds there. So, and again, you could see that that mold is on the surface, but it didn't affect them too much. Okay, and then I think I planted this on, I'm moving on to the plants that I planted on the 18th. So those were all the plants that I planted January 15th. So those have had almost, 2 full months. And then these are the 18th. So these have had, 6 or 7 weeks. So let's do blanket flower. Blanket flower or Gaillardia. I keep wanting to say Gaillardia, but I know it's pronounced Gaillardia. Or blanket flower. I'm super excited to add this perennial to my garden. I think they're going to be absolutely gorgeous, and they look really, really, really good. Woo, this leaf, sorry, that leaf didn't get through, but look how pretty. They're so awesome. And they're big too. Those are minimally 2 inches tall, probably 3 inches. And they look really good. There's a couple that popped up just recently. Actually, maybe just one. Just one, like right, I don't even know if you could see it right there. This one just popped up recently, but the rest of them are ready to go. Yeah, most of them have 2 sets of true leaves and definitely 2 inches long. So I think we should be good. I think they're gonna really appreciate not being all cooped up in there on 82-degree weather. The next one I'm gonna do is yarrow, and I'm pretty sure this one I winter sowed on the 18th as well. All right, so this one was kind of a weird shaped container. I don't think I'm gonna do that again. Do you see how it indents right here? I don't think I'm gonna use those in the future, but I think it totally worked out. But there's yarrow summer pastels. This is another plant that I'm extremely excited to add to my garden. Perennial, beautiful, beautiful color. And I actually really, really like the leaf shape as well. They're just so cute, so pretty. So yeah. Yarrow, they turned out awesome. All right, so next up, oh, January 20, oh, here's another 18th, yes. I did another type of Alyssum Rosie O'Day. And those don't look as great as the Alyssum Gold Dust. However, they're pretty good. And I think these struggled with mold or mildew really, really bad. The soil's also pretty wet, so they could have done better. Like I said, again, next year I'm going to be adding a lot more drainage holes, or much bigger drainage holes than I did this year. But those are still fine, and most of those are ready to go into the landscape. Maybe a couple of those I might leave. So all right, so next, oh, there's another one from the 18th, Rudbeckia. Okay, let me cut that. Okay. All right. Oh, these look so good, y'all. Rudbeckia. This is Rudbeckia hirta. I have grown these from seed before and have great success. I have not had success keeping them alive for the entire growing season to be perennialized. I just haven't. They have reseeded themselves, so I did get more the next year, but by the end of the growing season for me, these Texas hot summers takes my Texas Rudbeckia, or takes my Rudbeckia hirta every single time. I tried to look for a different, like a gold stem variety seed or anything like that. I just really couldn't find one that I thought was reasonably priced. So I just went with Rudbeckia hirta again. And if it dies, it dies. I will reseed next year. They do give you lots and lots of seeds, so that's just never a problem. But I wish I could just get one to perennialize and stay for years. But anyway, those came out really, really, really good. I think I had almost 100% germination, with the exception of this corner right here. I did plant seeds there that didn't germinate, but the rest of it is 100% almost. Okay, so next up is Sweet William Forget-Me-Nots. Wait till you guys see this one. This one is bursting at the seams. So this is half Sweet William and half Forget-Me-Nots. I didn't have enough jugs at that time to do one of each, so I split it, and then you'll see that I did more Forget-Me-Nots a week later when I had more jugs, because I want to put Forget-Me-Nots everywhere. I have lots of part sun locations, and I think Forget-Me-Nots do pretty well in a part sun location. So I'm going to be putting them a lot of different places to fill in a lot of different holes. And it's tried and true for me. I've grown them 2 years in a row, and they just do beautifully. And I love the blue, blue, blue. It's true blue flowers. I just love them. So anyway, that's what this is. And you'll see it's just bursting. It was ready to be out a long time ago. And I have to laugh because I think I planted way too many seeds here. Look, okay, so this side, these little tiny guys are Sweet William. And these guys are forget-me-nots. And especially with the Sweet William, the seeds are so small that the method that I used this time is just to sprinkle a ton of seeds on the top of the surface and press them in. I think I did the same with the forget-me-nots. I must have, because I had a smaller space. And this is something you could definitely do with all of your jugs, by the way. A lot of people do this that winter sow, and when I take these out and get them ready to put in the landscape, I'm going to use the method that's called hunk of seeds method. So this is probably going to be a carpet of roots all together. There's kind of not really an easy way to pull those apart and separate them. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? That would be kind of a nightmare. But one thing you can do is you can take it out. This is already divided with cardboard, so take this part out and then you just basically cut it with a hori-hori knife in like brownie sizes, or maybe 2" by 2" sizes, or however you want to do it, and then just place your little 2" by 2" square or brownie square, whatever you want to call it, into the garden and plant them that way. They work really, really well that way. So anyway, Sweet William and forget-me-nots, they're going to be great. And then, let's see. Okay, let's just, I guess we'll go, like I said, on January 30th, I had more, so I planted more forget-me-nots. And here's one. And this is what I typically do is I plant 9 different, like 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Some of them might have 12. But anyway, that's why you see it this way, because that's typically how I plant them. But I don't know. I mean, if I have a lot of seeds of something in the future, I'm definitely going to use that hunk of seeds method and just sprinkle the seeds over the top and cut them in squares. But anyway, there's some forget-me-nots, and honestly, the other jug looks exactly the same. I just have a lot of these, which I wanted. And the other one that I did on January 30th was Candy Tuft. Here is the Candy Tuft. For whatever reason, my footage from yesterday filming the Candy Tuft just got erased, and so it is the next morning. You can hear the birds chirping, and I didn't want to do this video without showing you my Candy Tuft reveal. So this is Candy Tuft. I think it's called Dwarf Fairies, and it's supposed to be, I think, a mixture of yellows and pinks and things. All of the other Candy Tuft I've ever seen is white, and these claim to be, I think it's pink. And so I've seen reviews of this particular seed packet, and the reviews say, you know, these don't really have color, they really are like a white. So we'll see. Either way, white, yellow, pink, I'm gonna love them. I'm super excited about Candy Tuft. It is a perennial in my zone 8, and a lot of people here in North Texas say that they've grown Candy Tuft very successfully, and it grows in small little mounds. It's an excellent border plant, and it is evergreen all through our winters here in North Texas, which I'm always looking to add evergreen plants. So super excited about Candy Tuft, and these did pretty well. Again, the soil is a little bit wet in this one. It's not 100% germination. There are some seedlings that are just not quite ready yet, but most of them, like these especially, have been growing for quite some time. So really excited about these. These were sown January 30th, so they've been growing for about, I guess you could say, 6.5 weeks now. So I have a lot of parts and locations I'm trying to fill, and so I thought, well, why not add baby milk bok choy? It was free, and then if we want to eat it, we can. I don't know. I've actually never tried bok choy, to be honest. I'm not like a lettuce and greens kind of girl, to be honest. Don't hate me. I just have never liked salad or lettuce before. But anyway, these look so good. Oh my goodness, look at there. It's like super, super tall. They turned out amazing, and they're definitely ready to go, ready to be planted. They like cooler weather like this anyway. Won't last our Texas summer, and that's okay. It's more of a cool season veggie that you can grow, but they're really, really tough leaves too. It's really cool. I just love this. It's so cute. Those are going to look really, really cute planted, even if I don't eat them. So all right, so those are all of All of the winter sown jugs that I have that are ready to go. I have 49 winter sowing jugs all together. I've kind of just been like planting as I go, as I get the jugs and things. And so a lot of them just are not ready yet. So they're still going. However, let me show you really quick because we're supposed to have temperatures in the 80s, I need to add a lot more aeration holes to the tops of these jugs in order for my plants and seedlings to survive. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So one more look at all of those. This is going to be in the shade for the rest of the day, and it got morning sun. But it's going to be in the shade. It's in the afternoon right now. So I'm going to leave these guys here, and then let me show you these guys. Yeah, I'm also going to move these probably to part shade for right now. They're on a fire pit table. And like I said, most of these have germinated, but the seedlings are really small. They're nowhere near ready. But I'm going to be coming out here with a drill, and I'm going to be drilling a lot of holes in the tops of these. They need a lot more aeration. I'm tempted to even just go open the jugs. Anyway, I will decide, but just wanted to throw that in there. But anyway, there you have it. Winter sowing works. I mean, these guys are absolutely beautiful. I'm really excited to add them. Thanks for joining me for this awesome winter sowing reveal. I hope that you'll consider winter sowing next year, or if you have time in your zone, it's not too late. Go ahead and consider that this year. You can see that they really do produce results. And thank you so much for joining me. If you liked what you saw today, please like the video, comment, and tell me, what are you winter sowing? Or maybe you're indoor seed starting. Tell me how that's going. Or maybe you're direct sowing. Like, let me know how you're doing and what's going on in your garden for this spring, and subscribe to my channel. That would help me so much. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me today. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Goodbye.